like to welcome everybody to the Devin Smith Showtime Sports Channel 2020 franchise mode. Tonight we're doing the season opening of Los Angeles Clippers at the Lakers. And this is game one of the season that we're doing tonight. To find my content, you can find me on Facebook under the name Joe Price with the Philly logo. And you can see a lot of sports content I do live on Facebook. And just connected to my YouTube, of course. Shout out to YouTube and to my supporters of this channel of Devin Smith Showtime Sports 2020 franchise mode. Going into 21. Peace and blessings to people all around the world, in the U.S. and outside of the country who watches the NBA and a lot of American sports to me, which is great. All right. Also, feel free to become a subscriber if you want to catch more content that I do. Feel free to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of the sports games that I do over here. Okay, we got the Clippers, of course, with Patrick Beverley starting, Paul George, Kyrie Leonard, Marcus Morris, and Serge Ibaka. Then, of course, Dennis Scooter, J.R. Smith, LeBron James, Anthony Davis are going to be starting for the Lakers tonight, of course. And I wonder, let's see, what colors will we have the Lakers wear tonight? We're going to go with the original yellow, of course. And then we're going to see where the Clippers, I think I like that for the Clippers. Let me see. I like that color too. Okay. We're going to go with the icon color, I think, for the Clippers. All right? All right. Let's check out the starting lineups tonight. And, of course, you see Serge Ibaka, Marcus Morris, Kyrie Leonard, Paul George, Patrick Beverley. These are the 5 starting lineups for the Clippers. Okay? And then, of course, we're looking at the Lakers, Anthony Davis, LeBron James, J.R. Smith, Dennis Scooter. And then, of course, you look at the Lakers bench. Mark Saul. Oh, man. Quinn Cook. Josh Hart. I mean, they just have a monster bench, L.A. And then, of course, I think we have players that's inactive, but I don't know if they're going to get any starts. And then, of course, this is your bench for L.A. All right, and you're starting 5 for L.A. Then we go look over the starting 5 for the Clippers, go down to the Clippers bench. Luke Williams is going to be on the bench tonight. He might come off the bench. Luke Kennard, Joakim Noah, Patrick Patterson. All right. This is your Los Angeles Clippers bench. All right. All right, let's get this game underway. Okay, we'll keep it. We'll probably keep him in the game. All right, live at the Staples Center, Los Angeles Clippers at the Lakers NBA season primetime opening night. Live on Devin Smith Showtime Sports 2020 franchise mode.
We welcome you to Los Angeles, California. I'm Ed Cohen with the former Chicago Bull, Jay Williams, and Jay's 16 banners. Many retired numbers, the aura and the mystique. Greet the opponent here tonight.
Ed, all those accolades are great, but we're talking about 2019. This is a new, young Lakers team. Let's see what kind of effort they bring on the floor tonight.
Let's do it here from Staples Center. The opening tip won by the Lakers as we get started here at Staples Center. Schroeder to James. He was smothered and still gets it to go down. The maturity of one of the game's greatest on full display.
Yeah, LeBron James still proving that he can get up there with the highest of the high. But still, I love the fact that he recognizes less is more now. LeBron James 2007, every play is a dunk. Now it just happens once in a while. Enjoy the greatness.
Jay, Magic and Kobe each won 5 titles. How are you going to judge LeBron James' legacy in L.A.?
LeBron James wins 1 championship in L.A. That means he will set himself apart. He will have won 4 championships in 3 different cities. Now, that is polarizing for some fans. That still does not take away from the overall greatness and the legacy of LeBron James.
Smith to James. Nothing going here on that drive. Schroeder. Leonard to Beverly. They get it to George. Down low. Layup goes down. Well done. Jay, when you break down Paul George, where is he at his best?
He needs to be engaged. He needs to have the ball in his hands. He needs to be needed. And that's the biggest thing for Paul George. When he's the guy offensively and he makes those clutch shots, it re-engages him defensively. And that drives him to be the best version of Paul George there is.
LeBron James with the rock. To Kyle Kuzma. A drive to the basket, but the shot won't go down. George lets it fly. Paul George, 2 for 2. That's what you want.
It looks like he's using his ball handling to feel the game out. I know it looks like he's just playing around out there trying to get the fans going. That is true, but he's also finding his rhythm.
James to Schroeder. To James. Yes, and the foul. And a chance at 3 coming up.
Ed, you ever bail out of something at the last second? That's what I saw right there from the defender. We call that no man's land. They weren't really committed to getting out of the way, committing a hard foul, or taking the brunt of the contact.
LeBron James trying to cash in on the three-point play. For his career, 73%. Free throw is good to cap off the three-point play. And the lead is down to 3. To George. They'll get it down to Leonard. Nice pass to get things going.
Old school equals high percentage.
LBJ with it. To Davis. Slams it down.
I mean, with so much talk these days about three-point shooting and the spacing on the court and having versatile athletic wings, sometimes when you have a dominant big man, you keep giving him the ball. You let him be that anomaly.
Paul George to Leonard. LA with 4 to shoot. Leonard can't go down. Smothering defense.
Great contest by the D, but I want to see the coaching staff call the same exact play the next possession. Get that offensive player the ball. Let him prove that it wasn't the D. It was more in his own head.
Yes, and a foul. He'll have a chance at a three-point play.
And I know there's so much excitement about the play, but everybody looks at the player. More people need to pay attention to the guy at the end of the bench, the strength and conditioning coach, because this kid's been putting in the time and effort every day in the weight room.
LeBron James at the line for a chance at a three-point play. He's perfect from the line so far. Free throw, good. Three-point play, and we're tied up at 10.
So, Ed, my man P. Bev the other day made some comments on social media. I want to get your reaction. He said, I'll tell you right now, we are the best team in L.A. How do you feel about that?
Jay, since the Clippers moved from San Diego, I don't know if that's been the case once. Maybe going back a few years. But LeBron James is in L.A. now. I don't know if Patrick Beverley's right on that one. It's the Clippers with the possession now.
The NBA Season 8 2020 games and highlights coming up next.
3 for 4. Good start.
And in today's game, you have to make shots like that. Nice work draining it from deep.
Across midcourt, it's Schroeder. It's a one-point game, 13-12. To J.R. Smith. And he buries it.
What was once a tight space is no longer. There is absolutely no way the defender can recover after that move.
Nothing going here on that drive. Leonard knocks it down from mid-range.
When the ball's in his hands, we all knew what was going to happen.
LeBron with it up top. They trail by 1. Has a chance and strokes it.
This offseason, I heard so many voices, even that of the great Shaquille O'Neal, talking about how
NBA Season 8 2020 matchups coming up next. Dallas Mavericks, Phoenix Suns.
It's about hunting your own legacy, and that's to be the greatest of all time.
Schroeder with the basketball. Leads just a point.
Yep, I got him. Here we go.
To James. Schroeder. Down low for Davis. Old school. Backs his man down for the basket.
2 points. Take them any way you can get them.
George to Leonard. Beyond the arc for 3. The hot shooting continues. He's got 12 in the first quarter, including that trifecta.
And Ed, did you see how quick his release was? There was no wasted motion from the waist up.
James knocks it down. And Jay, so much better to get that shot beyond the arc than inside 22 feet. To Marcus Morris. Leonard.
NBA Season 8 2020 coming up matchups. Miami Heat, Orlando Magic.
Tough to pull off with the defender all over you. Gets to the basket and scores.
I'm telling you right now, with moves like that, scoring is not going to be an issue tonight.
LBJ has it. To Davis. Nice pace, sets it up, and slams it down. They have set the tone in this one.
I love when I see offenses come out in beast mode. You attack that paint, you get to the rim, inevitably the floor will open up for you to knock down some threes.
Oh, highlight moves. Tough to do with the defender all over you. To Leonard. The Clippers with 4 to shoot. Kawhi Leonard. And the rebound taken in by Davis. Here's Schroeder with it. Up by 3. Kuzma to James. And scores.
Well, they have such great flow to their offense this evening. The ball isn't sticking to one player individually. It's moving around the perimeter, and it's zipping. They're playing with a special cohesiveness.
Both coaches dipping into their reserves. Changes coming onto the floor. Jay, the Clippers last year were 2 games better than 500. Pretty amazing when you think about what they dealt with.
Most definitely, but everything for this Clipper organization starts with Lou Williams. He is the stud for this team. It's the 2nd time in his career he's been named 6th Man of the Year, and that's why they signed the 31-year-old to a 3-year, $24 million deal.
James. Had a chance, but it's no good. It's Cook with the basketball. Leads 3. Full throttle, right to the basket for the deuce.
Did you see the way that dribble freed him up? It created so much space. I did, but the defender didn't.
Paul George to Ibaka. And it's Harrell who comes away with the rebound. Reset here. Let's see what they do. James. Beverly into the front court. Down 5. Down low George. To Beverly. Williams. Off the assist.
Attack mode
NBA Season 8 2020 coming matchups Detroit Pistons Minnesota Timberwolves.
Cook to bring it into the front court. He'll run the offense. James to Davis. Rocking the rim. Jay, they've had no answer for this guy.
He's been on fire this first quarter. That's the way you take it right to your opponent. You attack right out of the gate.
George goes to the right side. And the Lakers able to grab the rebound. It's Cook with the basketball. Up 5. James to Davis. Anthony Davis. That's now 5 in a row without a single miss. Now Doc wants a timeout. His guys have come out flat. Slow start in this first quarter. They're going to make some changes with some new personnel on the floor.
Number 55, Joakim Noah. And number 54.
Paul George to Beverly.
NBA Season 8 2020 matchups coming up next. Utah Jazz Portland Trail Blazers.
Every shot that the offense takes, make sure that it has a 10 as far as degree of difficulty.
Quinn Cook matched up with Patrick Patterson. Off the mark. Well contested.
Let's be realistic. He's probably not going to miss a lot of shots. But the more effort you can give, you want to try to tire him out. Take his legs away. Make him work to catch the ball. That's how you win a defensive battle.
Can't connect. Has to know what's a good shot and what isn't. James into the front court. Lead stands at 7. Free throws coming up.
And the reality is that good jump shooters know how to get those calls. Overall, though, there's less flopping in the game, which is great. But there's something uncanny about certain players' abilities to get those calls on a regular basis.
Nope. First one does not go.
For the Lakers, number 5, Markieff Morris.
Knocks down the second after missing the first. Jay, upon scanning this Clippers roster, there are a lot of guards for Doc Rivers to work with.
Yeah, they have a plethora of guards, and if I'm this team and if I'm Doc Rivers, I'm thinking about how do I throw as many guards at you as possible, because Doc wants to get another guard in there to apply the same pressure. They should be the new modern-day Detroit Pistons with the style they play defensively.
Right time, right player.
Can't teach height.
Patterson up against Cook.
1 minute left in the
To
first.
Paul George.
Hey, left.
Here comes the screen. George here against Morris. The screen sets him up for 2.
The pro game has really come down to PNRs. Let's see how the defense adjusts.
Los Angeles, they have it. James, tough matchup against George. Tough-looking shot there. Still gets it to go down.
That's a good run right here to end the first quarter to open up that lead. If you're the coach of this team, you have to like the effort your guys are giving.
George. He's going to get 3 shots here. A career 84% free throw shooter. First free throw is good. And he hits the second.
For the Clippers, number 31, Nicholas Batum.
It's all 3 free throws. It's James controlling the offense. That's what you like to see off the pick and roll. Nice, easy basket. Long key from 3/4 court. We're through one from Staples Center with the Lakers on top. Jay and I are back with more after this. You're watching NBA Tuesday night on EA Sports. Ed Cohen, Jay Williams with you as we get things started here in the second quarter. Clippers have the basketball. Williams to George. Marc Gasol able to recover with the block. Across midcourt, it's Schroeder. His team up by 7. Oh, Dennis Schroeder. He's finally on the board. Makes his first shot.
I'm not sure that wasn't an offensive foul, but take it when you can get it.
To Batum. George. Here again, Schroeder. Count it. No and 1. There was some contact there.
Bread and butter, and there are few that can do it better off the screen.
James to Schroeder. Here comes the screen. Schroeder picked up by Patrick Patterson. Yes, and the foul. And a chance at 3 coming up.
He should get some kind of acting award. That's a great sell by the offensive player. But guess what? The refs bit, and that's the game.
Dennis Schroeder trying to cash in on the 3-point play. For his career, 82%. Missed it at the line. It's LA Clippers ball. Williams to Nick Batum. To Paul George. Here comes the screen. George, the pass taken away by the Lakers.
Come on, let's dig in. Let's really build this lead.
Paul George sends it away. In the slam. He was ready right at the tip.
What a first half he's having. He came out of the gate, attacked, found ways to get to the rim. Now look how easy the game is coming to him.
Paul George to Williams. Gets a look. Can't hit.
And this happens all the time in this league. Sometimes offensively, you're tired. It's one of those type of nights. You combine that with the fact that the defense is hungry and active and contesting everything, that's why shots aren't dropping.
To Schroeder. Down low Gasol and draws the foul.
Smart play to rip through the extended arm of the defender. That will get you to the free throw line every time.
Team foul number 2.
Marc Gasol at the line for 2 shots. For his career, 77% at the line. First try at the line, no good.
Number 10, Ron Brown. Stepping in for Los Angeles, number 41, Kawhi
Good recovery. Hits the second free throw. LA Clippers with the basketball. To Williams. Leonard. Marc Gasol with a piece. Calls out of bounds. Last touch by Marc Gasol. From long range, Luke Kennard bothered just enough on that one. Schroeder with the basketball. His team leads it by 10. Gasol to J.R. Smith. Caldwell Pope to Schroeder. Fires the three. Had to rush that one, and it's no good. Shot clock violation. The opposing coach is going to counter, make some changes of his own. Williams to Leonard. Finishing inside the paint on that one.
You normally don't see that, but that's the type of thing that keeps shooters in the league for a long time. Every once in a while, they venture into the paint.
Here comes the screen. To Caldwell Pope. A shot, no good there for Kuzma. Count the basket. A lot of contact. No foul.
He's been doing this for years. The physicality in which he plays. No one wants to see that. You're going to leave the game with black and blue marks all over your body.
Williams to Leonard. Here comes the screen. Nothing going here on that drive. Spinning shot. Won't fall. To Kyle Kuzma. Got it.
As my mother would say to the defender, A for effort, F for results.
It's the Clippers with the possession now. Nothing going here on that drive. Short jumper stays out. Cook to bring it into the front court. Up a dozen. To Gasol. Trying to cash in. Gasol shot off the mark. Williams into the front court. Looking to make something happen. To Leonard. Oh, great pass. Setting up the basket.
Contact on a drive can be a beautiful thing. Making those tough shots can really help you build a mental advantage over your defender.
To Kyle Kuzma. That's no good.
And you have to remember that your hand is part of the ball. There wasn't enough contact on that play for the refs to blow the whistle.
To Leonard. Baseline drive. And he's fouled. Nice move that time, and he's going to the line for two.
Love the fact that the shooter created contact on the upward motion to shoot the basketball. Big time play.
First one goes down.
Los Angeles. Entering the game.
And he makes them both. Jay, the Lakers, not just a great franchise, but they are a brand in the NBA. With LeBron James, what do you make of Laker fans accepting him maybe now or down the road as one of their own?
They better accept him now. I agree wholeheartedly with Jeannie Buss when she said they're not Laker fans if they're not happy about LeBron James. He is a Laker, and this is one of the most loyal fan bases we have, not just in this country, but in the entire world. The most Twitter followers of all the teams in the NBA.
Won't go down for J.R. Smith. Defense was all over him.
Shooters shoot, period. I don't want to hear any excuses. That's why you're on the floor. You keep doing what you're doing with that superior confidence.
Old school. Backs his man down for the basket.
I don't know what the point of you having a scouting report is if you don't utilize it. You're allowing him to get to positions on the floor where you know he feels most comfortable. Make it a challenge for him by making him do something uncomfortable.
Has a look. Wide open look, won't go.
You see, Ed, this is where coaches get fired. It's great to have good offensive sets, but if you can't execute, then the play was a failure.
Big slam. Oh, he looked like he was on a mission.
I was expecting the dish there, but way to fake that one and lay that one in.
LeBron into the front court. They lead it. 4-point game. Doesn't have the touch. No good. Beverly into the front court. He'll run the offense. Shot from in close. No good.
That's how you do it. You keep riding him to the basket, and if the refs aren't calling it, keep being physical. Keep knocking him off balance.
Nothing going here on that drive. And scores.
This type of game needs to be celebrated. This is the type of culture that is fostered when you play with unselfish players. When you give up a little bit of yourself and you make your teammate look great, that's the difference between winning and losing. So when you see these guys smiling, when you see them giving each other high fives, that's because of the energy that was created from the pass. Pass is one of the most brilliant things we have in this game.
To James. Whistle sounds. We have a tie-up. Jump ball. Mixing things up. Hockey line substitutions. Both teams making changes. Kuzma. Lakers down to 4 in the shot clock. It's James. And he buries it. Jay upping the ante from beyond the arc.
Well, that change is inevitable. And one of the things that continues to fascinate me about this game, usually when you see a good three-point shooting team, their shoulders are square to the basket. That's no longer the case in today's game. These guys are off balance, they're moving different ways, yet they still have extreme shot-making ability.
Not giving up on that play. The result, a tie-up. All lined up and ready for the jump. Los Angeles has the basketball. Schroeder to James. Cleared by Ibaka. George to Beverly. Down low for Leonard. Works it. Straight on look. Leonard to Marcus Morris. Leonard cleaning the offensive glass. Oh, and a putback.
Ed, it's pretty amazing how athletic bigs can be when it comes to getting an easy 2 points, huh?
Here's Schroeder with it. Up 5. Knocked loose. That's off of Leonard, out of bounds. So it stays with the LA Lakers. Active fans to stay with it. We'll get a jump. Now it's been scrappy. Let's see who can take the jump. Caldwell Pope against Paul George. 5 to shoot for Los Angeles. To James. Here's a chance from long range, trying for a 30-point night, but it's no good.
Just because you're an elite shooter doesn't mean you need to shoot the ball every possession. Maybe give a head fake, crack into the defender, get to the free throw line, see the ball go in the hole.
Nothing going here on that drive. Marcus Morris, strong finish.
I don't think I could do that on a 5-foot rim.
I can, because that's my only choice. Schroeder to Gasol. Great look and vision. Missed a wide open look. Leonard to George. They'll get it down to Leonard. And he's fouled. Very close, Jay. The result, he's going to the line.
And as a defender, you cannot, I repeat, you cannot foul in the act of upward motion into your shot. Your timing needs to be better.
Oops, he missed the first one. He missed a pair of free throws. Across midcourt, it's Schroeder, up by 3. Gasol, good for 2. Great footwork once again.
Well, when you play for each other and not just for yourself, that's when great things happen. You essentially lose yourself in what the team is trying to accomplish. It's called unselfish basketball. And there's nothing more beautiful than rewarding your teammate with a nice pass and letting them finish for 2 or 3 points.
To Caldwell Pope. Kuzma. They work it down to Gasol. Short jumper off the mark. Leonard to Paul George. Missed it. How'd that not go down? Schroeder with the basketball. Counting down toward a minute to go in this first half. And the basket good at the rim.
And that is the sign of an unselfish team. When everybody in transition thinks they have a chance to get the ball because you have a willing passer, somebody willing to make other players on his team look great, that's only going to force your players to play that much harder on offense and give you more energy on the defensive end.
Clippers have the basketball. Paul George to Marcus Morris. George to Marcus Morris. LA with 4 to shoot. Deep 2 there, won't go.
I love when I see a good contest. You're crowding the player's landing space, which naturally makes him worrisome about turning the ankle on that landing.
Here comes the screen. Schroeder to Gasol. No good. No daylight. Great defense. That's it. First half has come to an end. The Lakers have the lead.
It's Jalen Rose, and I've got your EA Sports halftime report. The Lakers have themselves a narrow lead. They decided to make a statement in the opening half, and they did it by throwing down dunk after dunk after dunk. I think the rim is still shaking. These are the guys getting buckets for the Los Angeles Lakers. The Clippers aren't down by too much at the half. And that deficit is a negative, of course, but I do see it positive. I really like how they move the ball, keeping each other involved offensively. They've got a nice flow to their game today.
Game track. Bench points.
The coaches are getting the kind of bench production that can make for some interesting rotations. Keep an eye on the substitution patterns in the second half.
Player of the half.
The chosen one most definitely deserves to be player of the half for the way he distributed the ball. It was an excellent display of court vision and solid passing. Here we go with the top plays from the first half.
Number 2. Number 1.
Fellas, back to you.
Tight game through the first 2 quarters as we resume play here in the third. It's LA Clippers ball. Leonard to George. Probing the defense. Paul George fires, gets a look, can't hit.
It's easy. Force guys into low percentage shots. That's the reason why we're big into stats. It was all provided to you before the game in the scouting report.
Here comes the screen. Caldwell Pope to Schroeder. Going a launch beyond the arc. Off the iron. No good. Paul George to Marcus Morris. Anthony Davis.
Oh, and he can't keep it in off the block.
Man, that was impressive. Leonard to Beverly. George to Marcus Morris. The pass set it all up.
And the last 10 sequences down the court, everybody's touched the ball. You don't see anybody with any kind of negative expressions on their face because everybody's eating.
Davis to Schroeder. To Caldwell Pope. Flushes it home.
You never want to leave anything to chance when you attack the rim. You finish strong every time you head home.
LA Clippers with the basketball. Beverly to Leonard. Here comes the screen. They get it to George. Down low. Leonard. Not that time. He misses. Nice touch around the basket with the tip.
Strong finish. That's what you need, regardless of contact, focusing on the rim.
Here's Schroeder with it. Leads 3. To Caldwell Pope. Kentavious Caldwell Pope. Consistent effort. He's at 50%.
If you're coaching against this player, you have to throw some fake traps, some fake schemes. How are you making this player think instead of just naturally reacting?
Paul George to Leonard. Down low George. Strong finish for Paul George.
This type of game needs to be celebrated. This is the type of culture that is fostered when you play with unselfish players. When you give up a little bit of yourself and you make your teammate look great, that's the difference between winning and losing. So when you see these guys smiling, when you see them giving each other high fives, that's because of the energy that was created from the pass. Pass is one of the most brilliant things we have in this game.
Leonard to Beverly. Leonard. That one off the mark. It's no good. Serge Ibaka. He's 3 of 5. 60% shooting from the field.
There are certain guys in this league that should be put on alert status 24/7 because either they're posterizing you or that attempt can still be a poster.
Oh, the touch at the rim. Count it.
No doubt about where that one was headed.
To Beverly. Ibaka. Here comes the screen. George against Markieff Morris. Curling inside. George off the mark. He loves the tough shots, but that one may be too tough. On the follow. Way to stay with it.
You normally don't see that, but that's the type of thing that keeps shooters in the league for a long time. Every once in a while, they venture into the paint.
Here comes the screen. The screen sets him up for two.
It just seems like nobody can stop him but him. Once he's found his offensive swag, that boy's deadly.
Nothing going here on that drive. George to Leonard. Has a chance. Shot by Leonard won't go. Davis on the drive, but a shot won't go down. Beverly into the front court. The deficit now up to 5. And the finish, slam dunk.
An easy 2. Get back on defense.
Lakers ball.
That's me.
Schroeder to Davis.
Double, come on. Help.
Yes, and a foul. He'll have a chance at a three-point play.
And I love the smile on the face of the offensive player. Sometimes luck is on your side. I don't know how that shot went in, but and one.
Kyle Kuzma at the line for a chance at a three-point play. A career 70% free throw shooter. Oh, he can't connect. And he's fouled. Davis going to the line for 2.
I'm watching the coach's reaction right now, and I'll tell you, he's not going to be happy about that. The game comes down to the micro details. That wasn't a part of the plan right there.
And hits the first free throw. Able to convert on both free throws. It's the Clippers with the possession now. To Leonard. Anthony Davis with the block. That's his 3rd block this evening.
Blocking so many shots only gives your perimeter that much more confidence to really apply more pressure.
Screen.
Leonard to Marcus Morris. Hat-trick Beverly. 2 of 4 now.
Underutilized. Am I getting my point across? Let's see more of it.
James to J.R. Smith. To Davis, down low. Using the post to his advantage there, and the finish at the rim.
This may sound cheesy, but sometimes you just need to sit back, get a tub of popcorn, and just enjoy the show, because that's what you're watching right now.
Down low to Williams. Anthony Davis! Huge block! 4th this contest.
This game is all about playing mind tricks on people. The offense is more worried about getting their shot blocked than they are about actually making the shot.
Lakers at the controls right now. Davis to Schroeder. Oh, Dennis Schroeder. 4 out of 7.
Look, as a player, this stuff happens all the time. No need to make this into something bigger than what it really is. Move on to the next play, get locked in.
Goes reverse to lay it in.
But most importantly, you have to keep the ball moving. Maybe run some floppy sets, some horn sets. Raise those bigs up, which open up the lane, and let them be the passers to make plays easier for the guards.
And he's fouled. A trip to the line coming up.
No, no, no. I'll tell you. The team that makes the little mistakes, like committing unnecessary reach-in fouls like that, will be the team that ends up with the L.
Anthony Davis has got 2 shots coming. Hasn't missed yet. Knocks down the first. And gets both to drop at the line. Clippers have the basketball. Oh, great defense there, forcing the pickup. Gets it in the right corner. PG lets it fly. Can't connect.
That's how you do it. You keep riding him to the basket, and if the refs aren't calling it, keep being physical. Keep knocking him off balance.
Smith to Davis. Oh, had him going there for a second. Bad pass there. Clippers have it.
You go back to the principles, things that we started working on when we were in 1st and 2nd grade. It's called the shell drill. You stay down in the stance defensively, you try to deny the next pass away, and you have to communicate. If your conditioning is bad, you have no chance. But if you're able to do all these things together, collectively, you will be able to stop a great passing team.
Count the basket. A lot of contact. No foul.
I remember my high school coach said 1 man can't beat 5. Well, I'm telling you right now, he lied. I'm watching it happen in person.
Paul George to Marcus Morris. George to Beverly. Finishing inside the paint on that one.
Clearly not afraid of the spotlight here because that was not an easy look.
It's Cook with the basketball. They lead it. 4-point game. This will be out of bounds off of Davis. Some lineup changes now for both clubs.
Stepping in for the Los Angeles Lakers, number 33, Gasol.
Williams to Paul George. Williams to George. With the fadeaway. Burns him for the basket.
And last year, it seemed like PG really had a difficult time finding that next level elite PG. No doubt about it. This year, he needs to be playoff P all day, every day.
Strong finish at the rim for Marc Gasol.
You know, from a point guard perspective, one of the things that I learned when I played in the league was that the more I was willing to give the ball up, the harder other players were willing to run to their spots. The harder the bigs were running to the rim. The harder the three-point shooters were running to the three-point line because they knew they could be active recipients. And when they caught the ball, they knew exactly what to do with it.
Los Angeles, they have it. Smith to James. It's George for 2. Knocks it down on the step back. That was not easy.
Might have had an extra dribble or two there, but he got the shot in.
James kicks it outside to J.R. Smith. Fires the 3. Oh, he couldn't get it to go. Batum. Great dish to set it up. George, where's the chatter? No one was even close to him.
I know there are refs on the court all the time, but it doesn't mean they can see every play. Maybe defensively, grab his jersey, step on his toe, do something to kind of change up his pace.
Able to convert inside.
Ooh, shows like this separate the good players from the great ones. The good players, they have good first halves, and then they fade to black in the second. The great players, they just sustain that kind of dynamic energy throughout the entire ball game.
Batum to Paul George. Lets it fly from beyond the arc. Had made his first couple, but he misses there. Basket's good on the follow. Way to stay with it.
That's a strong finish. Regardless of contact, finishing strong is key.
Across the timeline comes James. His guy's down 3. Scores from the post. It's LA Clippers ball. Williams. Paul George to Williams. They get it to George, down low. He's going to the free throw line to shoot.
This drives me nuts when I see fouls like that being called in a close game. Sometimes you just gotta let them play, ref.
And he connects on the first free throw. Two for 2 on that trip. LeBron into the front court. They're down 3. 4-3. Buries it on the catch and shoot.
You know, from a point guard perspective, one of the things that I learned when I played in the league was that the more I was willing to give the ball up, the harder other players were willing to run to their spots. The harder the bigs were running to the rim. The harder the three-point shooters were running to the three-point line because they knew they could be active recipients. And when they caught the ball, they knew exactly what to do with it.
Time for some new personnel into the game.
Los Angeles Clippers, number 30, Luke Kennard.
Williams. Can't connect. Los Angeles has the basketball. Old school. Backs his man down for the basket. He'll let one fly from half court. 3 quarters down, the Lakers have the lead. It's Lakers ball as we start the 4th quarter, and they'll be looking to finish strong.
And when you play stingy defense on one end, the other end takes care of itself.
James. He throws it down.
Well, we got a chance to firsthand watch something be created. I think we just watched an epidemic of passing. I've never seen something like this before. It was so contagious, everybody started to do it, and it ultimately led to the other team's demise.
If that's an epidemic, sign me up. Anthony Davis sends it away. Incredible. 6 tonight.
You know why? I don't see anybody on the defensive end standing up out of position. I see everybody squatted down, really active with their hands. That's the mentality that will lead you to where you want to go.
Kennard to Batum. For 3. Nick Batum forcing that one. No good. Across midcourt, it's Schroeder. Leads 4. To J.R. Smith. Davis. To Schroeder. They'll get it down to Davis. Jumper's good.
You know, Ed, I'm down with guys having 35, 40, maybe 50 points in the game. But the one thing you look for in the defensive end, when there's a huddle after a guy has dropped multiple buckets on you in a row, and everybody's quiet, nobody stands up and says, yo, I got him, I'm going to stop him, you're in a worrisome place for your team.
Nothing going here on that drive. Doesn't have the touch. No good. Smith now into the front court. Up by 6. Davis knocked loose. Clippers have got it. Kennard. Trying to cash in. Wide open look. Won't go.
From the player that just missed that shot, just because you're open doesn't mean you need to shoot. You can put the ball down on the ground and drive to the rim.
Gets it to go. And the foul.
And I know there's so much excitement about the play, but everybody looks at the player. More people need to pay attention to the guy at the end of the bench, the strength and conditioning coach, because this kid's been putting in the time and effort every day in the weight room.
LeBron James trying to cash in on the three-point play, shooting 75% so far tonight. The free throw good as he completes the three-point play, and the lead is up to 9. Williams across the timeline. He'll run the offense. And he's fouled. He's going to the line for 2.
Love the fact that the shooter created contact on the upward motion to shoot the basketball. Big time play.
LeBron James, a couple of free throws on the way, shooting 80% in this contest. First one, count it. And fails to hit them both. Hits the first, misses the second. Williams into the front court. His guys trail by 10. Marc Gasol tips it.
Here's one of the biggest secrets as we move into this new age of basketball, especially in the draft room. You have to draft players with, out there looking like the Kimbe Mutombo.
Took it right to him, and the defender was ready. And he'll head to the line.
Great job, Ed, by the shooter to create contact after the jump. That's how you get to the free throw line.
Lou Williams at the line for 2 shots. A career 83% free throw shooter. First free throw is good. Good free throw shooting. Knocks down a pair. LeBron with it up top. It's an 8-point lead. To Schroeder. Here comes the screen. Schroeder. Oh, nice find for the basket.
And did you see the lift on the shot? Did you see the ball release off the hand? To be able to have the concentration to finish with such a feathery touch in the midst of contact, that's something special to watch.
Count it.
Sometimes when the players find that flow, nobody else needs to touch the ball. He's in the zone by himself.
LBJ. To Kyle Kuzma. Schroeder. Nothing going here on that drive. Curling inside. Kuzma to the basket, but his shot stays out. Leonard to Williams. Shot from the lane won't go. Schroeder with the basketball. His team on top by 8. To Gasol. Kawhi Leonard. Oh, that's out.
Out of here. It always looks cool, but guess what? You're still on D.
Looks like both teams are making substitutions. Kuzma. James. The shot almost. George. Nice pass to set things up. Nice pace, sets it up, and slams it down. Good luck keeping up with that.
Did you see that jump? It was as quick as a pogo stick.
Lakers ball. LeBron against Paul George. Sizing up the defense. James. They go down to Davis. To Kyle Kuzma. Lakers down to 4 on the shot clock. Here's Davis. Anthony Davis. He's got 2 shots coming. He's perfect from the line so far. First one goes down. Goes 2 for 2 at the line. Leonard to Beverly. And the rebound pulled down by Davis. Smith with it up top. Looking to make something happen. Down low for Davis to J.R. Smith. From the painted area, won't go down. Here's Leonard for 2. And a putback slam.
If you know anything, it comes down to who wants it more. And right now, the offense is just hungrier.
James into the front court. Up 6. To Davis. Down low. To J.R. Smith. Lets it fly from long range. And the Clippers with the rebound. L.A. Clippers with the basketball. Beverly. Oh, emphatic slam.
And when you get your prescription, you take your medicine and you call it a day.
Here's Schroeder with it. They lead it. 4-point game. Davis to Schroeder. Davis to Schroeder. Oh, Dennis Schroeder. With that shot, he's 5 for 8.
Great job using that shoulder to create contact with the defender without hesitation.
Nothing going here on that drive. Short jumper won't go down. Schroeder to Kyle Kuzma. Kawhi Leonard rejects it.
Oh, he blocked that with authority.
Beverly into the front court. The deficit is 6. Kuzma, tough matchup against George. Great defense there, forcing the pickup. Yes, and the foul, and a chance at 3 coming up.
The defender was actually in a good position there. They even made a decent play on the ball. But sometimes those bounces go the other way. Still, stay aggressive out there.
Patrick Beverly at the line for a chance at a three-point play. For his career, 76% from the line. Free throw is good to cap off the three-point play. And the lead is down to 3. It's James controlling the offense. To Davis. It was right there. Beverly into the front court. His guy's down 3. To George. Driving right to the basket. Right down Broadway for the 2. Defender has to pick him up. Jay, when you break down Paul George, where is he at his best?
He needs to be engaged. He needs to have the ball in his hands. He needs to be needed. And that's the biggest thing for Paul George. When he's the guy offensively, he makes those clutch shots. It re-engages him defensively. And that drives him to be the best version of Paul George there is.
Leonard to Paul George. Nothing going here on that drive. Short jumper won't fall.
The most important thing a shooter can do is continue to shoot. The defense is always going to give great effort, but it's more of your psyche that goes into the next shot that will limit you on whether you make the shot or not.
To James. They'll get it down to Davis. Able to convert inside.
There's something to be said about a guy that can make the game easier for everybody else on the court. We call that dropping dimes, very similar to the way I'm dropping nuggets on this broadcast.
Nothing going here on that drive. George on the drive, but a shot. Oh!
He sent that one to the 3rd row.
He was locked in. That was impressive. New blood coming in for both sides.
Los Angeles Lakers, number 50, Dennis Schroeder. Entering the game for Los Angeles, number 30.
LeBron James with the rock. To Davis. Count the basket.
We're watching the clinic right now. We're watching basketball one-on-one. Whoever this professor is, he needs to get paid top dollar.
Beverly to George. Knocks it down off the step back.
The defender needs to do a better job of forcing a pickup there.
LeBron into the front court. Up 5. Schroeder. The pass taken away by the Clippers.
Tonight, it may not cost you, but in a playoff game, it will.
Morris with a shot no good.
I'm not sure that the contest on the shot contributed to the miss, but what it might have done is seep into the confidence of the shooter that the next time he might decide to try to drive to the rim instead of settling for a jump.
Kennard to Beverly. George guarded by Schroeder. Oh, great defense there, forcing the pickup. Beverly misfires. It's no good. Lakers at the controls right now. To Davis. Old school. Backs his man down for the basket.
And I have so much admiration for guys that continue to hunt their shot. They're playing the second half like it was the first 5 minutes of the ball game. Those natural-born leaders are guys that will consistently lead your team to the promised land.
To Paul George. Here comes the screen. It's PG for 2. Cashes in. Someone has to get into a zip code.
Look at that, calm under pressure. You see a lot of guys rush those. Nice extra move there.
And the Clippers have the rebound. Kennard to George. And he finishes at the rim.
Serge Ibaka has such a good jump shot for somebody 6'10". But every time I hear his name, I just can't help but think about what would have been in OKC.
And he powers it home. 2 more points for Anthony Davis.
Oh man, you're not supposed to be able to do that with that size, but in today's game, dexterity and mobility are off the charts for bigs.
Paul George to Marcus Morris. They've slowed down the pace. Now 3 on the shot clock. And he's going to the line to shoot.
I've seen it happen so many times. Small things like that foul can end up becoming a momentum changer. Let's see how this one plays out.
Can't connect on the first free throw. Missed the second one as well. Referees called it. That was intentional.
Too close to call right now. We're in clock management mode. That was a good play.
And now an intentional foul. So they'll send him to the line. 2 free throws here means it's a 3-possession game.
Ed, what's that old saying? Ruffled feathers do not flock together? Well, actually, I just made that up. But what it means is that play will cause a little havoc. As designed, the team that uses it to galvanize as a unit will have the advantage.
Misses the first. And he's able to hit the second after missing that first one. Now the Clippers call a timeout. It's just their first of the final 3 minutes. That leaves them with 1 more. Leonard to Ibaka. Serge Ibaka. With that, he's 5 for 9.
That's lunch pail business right there. Don't worry about the no call. Keep powering through.
Now the intentional foul as they get it with a little under 20 seconds left to play.
This is a close game, and possessions are at a premium. That's a good move to stop the clock.
And hits the first free throw. Goes 2 for 2. Timeout called here by the Clippers. They'll need a quick shot and then likely a quick foul in what is now a 2-possession game. George buries it on the catch and shoot.
Just because someone is listening to you doesn't mean that they actually hear you. At the end of the game, when players get tired, they listen to what the assignment was, but they didn't hear what it was.
And now they'll get the intentional foul. Free throws coming up with 15 seconds to go.
This is why teammates love him. Yeah, that was an aggressive play, but you're also sending a message, setting the tone. You can't half-step on that.
And he makes them both. Deep three at the buzzer. The Lakers get the victory as they take care of business at home. For Jay Williams and all our crew, I'm Ed Cohen saying so long for now. This has been a presentation of the NBA on EA Sports.
Hey everyone, it's Jalen Rose, and it's time for the EA Sports post-game wrap-up. The Lakers almost let this one get away from them, but they managed to get the victory. And how could I not mention all the shots they blocked in this one? You can see the confidence grow with each one, and it really fed into their success as a team. It was a pretty standout way to win. What you see here is how the majority of the points were scored for the Los Angeles Lakers. The Clippers just couldn't close this one out. Sure, it's great they shot so well from three, but none of that really matters when your team has one more loss to show for it. Here are the guys who put up the most points for the Los Angeles Clippers.
Game track. Assists.
The teams in this matchup did a great job of moving the ball and keeping the game flowing. It was the sort of action fans love to see, and I definitely enjoyed it myself. The unselfish play made for a great game.
Player of the game.
Anthony Davis seemed to think he could only score points with dunks in this game. Again and again, he kept throwing them down, and it was just astonishing. These are the top plays of the game.
Number 2. Number 1.
That does it for us. On behalf of the rest of the crew, good night.
Game 1 Los Angeles Clippers 1-1-3 Los Angeles Lakers 1-1-8 Final.